Aloha everyone! This is Dr. BethAnne. I am an author, intuitive psychologist, and an empath, and I craft content for highly sensitive spiritual souls. And this September, we have been talking about the theme of self-acceptance, and yesterday specifically, I was talking about using nature as a teacher for self-acceptance, and how do we use the energy of nature to foster that same energy inside of ourselves. And I wanted to develop that a little bit further today. I had suggested in yesterday's video, I talked about being on a mountain and how the mountain was accepting of everybody who came to hike her. Like, everybody's welcome on the mountain. Nobody's judged as being more than or less than. They all have like equal footing on the mountain, as long as they're willing to walk up the trail and try and get to the top. And I was talking about how we need to bring that same energy inside of ourselves, and we need to bring that energy into the different parts and aspects of our being. That idea that none of them are more than or less than, and that they're all worthy and deserving of our love and being part of the whole of who we are. And I wanted to give a really easy, small exercise that we can do to work with aspects of ourselves that we might not like. And we all have them. It's just part of being human. Self-love is a journey that we will be on our entire life. And if we think we've mastered it, what will happen is life is going to bring new circumstances to our doorstep that will reveal another aspect of self, or will react in a way that we didn't see coming, and we'll realize, oh, here's an opportunity to evolve self-love into this aspect of my being. You know, it's a work in progress for all of us, and self-acceptance is really self-compassion. Those are the gateways to loving ourselves and to bringing the energy of acceptance into all parts of ourselves. And so the exercise I want to share with you is to think about, when I say the word self-acceptance, what embodies the energy of self-acceptance to you? Is there a certain color, an image that comes to mind? Would you think of maybe just the word acceptance and like two best friends, and you've got the best friend where the one says, I've done something horrible, you know, and the other says, I still love you, let me help you like get out of this, the Thelma and Louise best friendship, you know, where you're just completely unconditionally accepted. Like, what would come to mind? Would it be an animal companion that loves you? You know, maybe it's more of just something you feel in your body, where you feel it in your heart or your solar plexus, and they feel really open and flowy. Your response to that will vastly differ, whoever you are, based on your experiences and just how you're hardwired. Some people are highly visual. Some people are very much somatic, where they really feel things. Some people kind of see in colors. You might have a memory connected to one of those that's specific to you. It doesn't matter. I just want you to think about what embodies the energy of self-acceptance to you. And, you know, you can write that down. You can journal about it if you want. You might already know as I'm saying this video. And one thing that you can do is use that to foster acceptance inside of yourself when you run into parts of yourself that are hard to accept. So if you're having a bad day and you realize you're beating yourself up for having a bad day, what you do is you think about whatever it is that represents self-acceptance to you, whether it's a memory, just a feeling, it's opening your heart, maybe there's an affirmation that you say, and you take 30 seconds, 20 seconds, it doesn't have to be long, 10 seconds as you do like some deep breathing, and you think about whatever image, color, whatever represented self-acceptance to you, and then see where you're at with your bad day. The beautiful thing about using visualization and just focusing on the body and focusing on something positive is that it helps shift what feels negative inside of ourselves. And this is a little bit paradoxical, because we want to accept and love what feels negative inside of ourselves. We don't want to say you're bad and you don't belong here. But what we want to learn to do is not attach to it. What we want to learn to do is compassionately see all the pieces inside of ourselves that feel like icky and stuck and hard to work with. But we don't want to attach a label that says that's bad, I need to change this, I need to fix this. We want to compassionately detach. We want to be able to take a step back and look at it with acceptance and love, and then make a decision from our heart about what we want to do with that side of ourselves. So it's really about learning to see ourselves with this like bird's eye view. If we were an observer of ourselves, it's about learning to see ourselves through that lens of self-acceptance. And that allows us to move through negative aspects and challenging aspects and parts of ourselves that don't feel so good. It allows us to shift. It allows us to shift and to detach so that we're better able to make some decisions about how we want to work with that aspect of self. And sometimes all we have to do is just a little bit of energy and focus work, and that aspect will kind of evaporate. And other times we might have some deeper work to do. And I'm about to turn into a psychologist here, which I am, but I'm about to try. I can feel myself going into a lesson. So I'm going to stop right there. I think I'll come back tomorrow and we will talk more about parts work and how we work with parts of ourselves that are hard to love. But for today, step 1 is to think of something that represents acceptance to you. Use it as a tool for visualization or for just like body focusing, and then use it in the moment when you're running into an aspect of yourself that feels hard to accept and you're kind of stuck in this energy of lack of acceptance and self-defeating behavior or negative self-talk, and see what happens when you bring acceptance in and see how things shift, and just pay attention to your own process. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. Apparently we're going to be talking about working with parts of ourselves tomorrow. And if you're resonating with what I have to say, feel free to join me here daily by subscribing. And I also have lots of tools and resources on my website and my different social links. And you can find all of that stuff up in my bio. So have a beautiful day. I wish you much aloha and light.